Right, I'm going to post together. Right, let's melt some.
This morning starts, as it so often does these days, with flour and water and a little bit of quiet, not too much. I'm mixing up a couple of sourdough doughs this morning. I'm going to get a sandwich loaf and a pizza dough going, both milled from our hard white wheat, and I like to let them auto-lease properly before I do anything else with them. Just a good rest so that the flour can really absorb the water and the gluten can begin to develop on its own. Both of these doughs are for tomorrow actually, and that's one of the things I love most about sourdough. You can simply mix it, do a few stretch and folds through the day, and then tuck it into the fridge and let time do the rest. It feels really intentional, really slow, and it might be tomorrow, it might be the day after, but it bends around real life rather than demanding that you bend exactly around your bread. And with little children, that matters just more than I can say. You only have small pockets of time, and sourdough, real slow sourdough, actually works with that. And you don't need a long, uninterrupted stretch. You need 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and a little bit of trust in the process.
This to water plonk, plonk. Just a second. This morning I was going to film a really slow, wonderful, calm morning, and that has not how the morning has been so far, so I ended up not doing that. We have done breakfast, we have done the morning routine, I've pulled together some different bread doughs that I'll get to in just a minute, made a coffee, we've calmed down. It's still the morning, so we can still enjoy a nice slow morning, but for now we are going to proceed throughout the day in a more calm and peaceful way. So we've got some stuff to do today. I'd like to get to our garden, which is feeling a little bit out of hand. I'd like to do some baking and some organising and cleaning, and we'll just see what we get to in this slow morning for the rest of the morning that we have. And then also some home educating too, that's kind of slotting into we're still on the holiday break, so slotting into our holiday time and taking that nice and relaxed to then restart again officially tomorrow. Let's get on with the rest of our day. I've got a little baby staring at me here. I also haven't been feeling too good in this pregnancy so far, so last night I didn't have time to clean the kitchen or do anything like that, and neither did Josh, so I woke up this morning and needed to blitz the place. So don't be fooled by a semi-clean kitchen. It was not like this when I woke up. I think we'll finish off our sourdough bread. I'm using a different recipe because I made a sandwich loaf the other week that just wasn't quite right. So I've done 650 grams of freshly milled flour plus 300 mils of plain flour, and I'm hoping that the combination of the plain flour would just make it a little bit nicer or more tolerable, especially for my children, because I just haven't quite got the full freshly milled loaf taste yet. So let's see how that goes. It will be an artisan loaf and not a a sandwich loaf this time, but I'm just making one loaf, which is unusual. I usually always need two, but I just wanted to test the recipe first and see how that goes. And I've also done a similar thing for a pizza dough that will sit in the fridge overnight, and we'll use that tomorrow. So we're going to add some starter to this and some salt, and then give it a good stretch and fold. Do you need another snack? Do you need another snack? Should we get you a granola bar? Yeah, I can get you one. You want one of these? Sourdough starter. Hopefully it's live.
What do you mean alive? Alive, that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tasty.
What are you doing? What are you doing now?
Here's your cube. Let's do our next one. Where's my coffee? Another thing I just want to whip together before hopefully heading outside is just some simple granola. I've been testing a few different recipes for granola and I haven't found the one. I mean, I found the one that I really like, but my children just aren't taking to it, and I'd really like to have granola on hand as a easy, quick and healthy breakfast for them, for those more rushed mornings and the mornings when we need to be out the house for home educating groups and things like that. So I'm going to try a new recipe today and see how that turns out. I also don't have a bigger bowl, so we're going to have to just make do with that one. I also thought I had a lot more nuts than I do, and seeds, so I'm just going to have to sub in more of the oats. Hey, I lied, I have plenty.
I've been thinking a lot lately about slowing down, not just in the way that this channel might suggest, you know, the bread and the quiet mornings and the unhurried pace of it all, but in more of a deeper and a more practical sense. We're in the middle actually of simplifying our home right now, and it's been one of the most clarifying things that I've done in a really long time, and I've been simplifying our home over the years. But this time, stripping things back, I've just started to see quite clearly what actually matters, especially in such a busy season of having 3 children under the age of 4 and halfway through a pregnancy with our 4th baby. And for me, most of what matters is right here, in this kitchen, in this garden, in the ordinary noise and mess of life with children. And I want to be honest with you, though life with my children doesn't always look like this. You know, these videos are curated. I don't pull out the camera when the whole house is blowing up, and sometimes it really is blowing up. But what I've noticed is, since we've started simplifying and letting go of hard days, the loud days, the days where everyone needs something at once, my bandwidth feels just slightly more increased, and there's a little more of me available. a little more capacity to meet it all without completely unraveling. The unraveling does sometimes happen, even in my mind, and thinking this happened to me yesterday. But that does feel like enough, and that feels like exactly the right reason to keep going with simplifying our food, our home, and slowing down our life.
What are you trying to do?
You have to borrow your tool. Now, where are my tools? Because this isn't going to work. Stick it on the microphone.
That is big. That is not the second one has a big roof.
These cottage garden walls are lovely to have, but they require a lot of work.
I'll be honest, tending to a garden when you have so many little people needing you is not always easy. And there are days when it just doesn't happen at all. I really like to try and prioritise it in the spring so it doesn't become too out of control in the summertime, but I've just had to make peace with it. I've been trying lately to spend just a little bit of time out here every day, even 10 minutes. Just enough to notice what's changed, pull a few weeds and feel the cool spring air. I do have a pear tree which I adore, and there's something so quietly hopeful about a fruit tree. The way it just kind of gets on with it, regardless of whether you're watching. I really like that in the garden these days. And we've started to grow some potatoes too, and I'm looking forward to the pears when they come in season and preserving those. And this time of year I'm keeping an eye on how they're coming along. And then there are the wild flowers, self-seed and spread and do exactly as they please, and honestly I think that might be my favourite thing about this garden. There's no controlling these wildflowers. They just make a little space and they reward you with a beautiful plant and flower, and that's something that we have a lot going on in our front garden. But later today we sat down for some homeschool together after we were in the garden, my eldest and I, and she's still so little, and I really love that our days have this kind of ease to them. There's no rushing, no pressure, and she's thriving in it, which I love. And on days like this I feel like the rightness of that quiet deeply. And there's a version of motherhood that looks like managing everything perfectly, and then there's this, there's a home, there's flour on the counter, there's dough in the fridge, a child learning beside you, and a garden that's doing its slow, reliable work outside the window. And I do think I prefer this slow version. And a garden that's doing its slow, reliable work outside the window. And I think I do prefer this version. But thank you so much for spending this morning here. And if this is the kind of slow, from scratch life that speaks to you, I'd love for you to subscribe and come back next week. I'll have my recipes in the description for you, and Patreon members will have recipe cards. But there's always something going on here at English Rose Cottage, and I will see you in the next one.